I've never seen anything so broken in my life. What is this? What is this? Oh my days. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Iron Earth. I present to you an Exos Heroes video today. I'll be discussing this crazy Dragon Blood mechanic. Even if you have no interest in Exos Heroes, if you play this sort of game, you have to look at this. It's nuts. So grab a cup of tea and let's begin. So the way it works is one of your characters will have this mechanic. They will have the Dragon Blood passive. And what happens is they, or anyone in the same row as them, is hit, they have a mark placed upon them. Every time they are hit, they have additional stacks of this mark added, right? Then, if the character with the Dragon Blood passive is hit again, everyone with a mark is given this bubble. Now this bubble, it not only gives the unit a huge defense buff, and the more times they get hit, the more marks are stacked on top of it, to the point where some of your highest damage dealing characters won't do any damage to them at all. On top of that, there is another passive that comes with this bubble called Wrath. And what Wrath does is it deals 70%, I believe, of the damage back to the target who just hit them. And what this opens up is a madness like this, right? So the footage I'm using in this video is a fellow guildmate of mine, Ryzen. Great player from what I can tell, they're doing a really good job, but this video highlights just how busted this mechanic is. This is top level PvP, and they've put in one character with this passive. This is meant to be a 5-character game, and the opponent's got 5 characters. Now, the way it works is if you don't attack the character for 2 turns, then all of the stacks disappear. However, if it's the only character out, then the stacks, you have to attack. You can't skip a turn. So everyone will be attacking his character, stacking passive on passive on passive, causing Wrath to just slap your team over and over again. And it's actually mad. I mean, look at this. Oh my days. It's actually nutty. And there's more to it. So can't be dispelled. So when a character is broken, it's still active. So in this game, you have a system whereby each character has a gem associated with them. If they are attacked by someone of the element of that gem, the gem breaks and the character is put into a broken state. Most of their abilities won't be active during this time. However, this one remains. It carries on. It's madness. It also responds to counterattacks. So if you attack someone and they counter you and hit your bubble, they're adding another stack and they take Wrath damage in response to that. And if you have 2 people with bubbles, you will Wrath onto Wrath, and it's a mad mechanic. This is a day 1 mechanic. It was released with the very first character on the first banner that came with the global launch of the game. So I think the original intention of the mechanic is to reduce the power of area of effect attacks. I mean, this mechanic has come day 1. And this character, Rude Xeon, his name was, he had the first, came with his passive. Anyone who didn't have this character is at immediate disadvantage. Then they released it with Anastasia, who was the next character, a healer, a frontliner. And as far as I'm aware, there are going to be 7 of these characters in total. So they will dominate the meta for the longest time, and I assume they will release them back to back to back. So yeah, they were put in the game to counter AoE, and to that effect it works because it stops you just having a team full of AoE cleavers. I like that idea because cleaving can really warp these type of games. However, there are ways to abuse it. For a start, all through story mode you can just put down one of these characters and they just auto whatever the story mode is. So I've heard the argument that you can play around it. That's fair, you can play around it. However, the actual amount of effort that you have to put in to make this mechanic work, super easy. You put down one character in your team that has this ability and a few people on the same row as them. That's the requirement to use this. To work around it, it's all about timing. You have to have enough attack power, you have to attack the right thing at the right time, you have to rely on no procs going off. So what it allows you to do, procs of counter by the way, so what it allows you to do is to have a main strategy, right, and then put this character in beside them as like a an extra layer of madness that your opponent has to deal with at no extra effort, basically. And that's why it's so broken, and the fact that you can just put down a single character and take on a top level PvP team with it just shows just how busted this mechanic is. Now, ladies and gents, this is where you'd come in. One, I'd love to know if you can think of anything more crazy than this mechanic. I can't. I've been thinking about it for a bit and I can't. I mean, I've been playing Seven Deadly Sins. You have the thing like the Kingbrum comps where you can turn one increase the skill cards you have so that you can freeze your whole enemy team with King and Helbrum's first card, but that's still, you're having to put a whole team of characters together to do that, and it's still an element of luck to getting it off. What's the skill requirement for this? Zero. There is none. You literally just have to have pulled the character and used the character. How do we fix it? I don't think it's got no value. I think there is a value to this mechanic. I like the idea of making it so that AoE attacks don't just dominate the meta. That's cool. How can we keep that and keep it decent so that, I don't want anyone who's invested money in this character to have a useless character. I don't want my Anastasia to not be able to do anything. I mean, she was a good character already, to be fair, but how can you make it so that it counters AoE without being this broken, all-encompassing thing? And I was trying to think, maybe one Wrath proc per turn, so that you can't wipe an entire enemy team with this ability. Maybe a cap on the number of stacks that you can receive, so that you don't become completely immune to damage. Might be a way to deal with it. I'm not sure. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's curtains for now. I hope this has given you food for thought. I'd love to hear what you think. I just think it's absolutely nutty. Oh my days. If you're a person of honor and dignity, be sure to subscribe. Also, if you have a brave and adventurous spirit, come and find me on twitch.tv @IronEarth. I try and stream when I can. I've got some health issues at the moment, but when they have improved, I will be back on it much more frequently than I am at the moment. I stream Seven Deadly Sins, Epic 7, amongst all sorts of other games. I'd love to start streaming Exo's Heroes as well. All sorts of games, PC games as well as mobile games. So until next time, stay safe, stay classy, don't do anything I wouldn't do, and I will see you on the next one.
No place